Okay, so today we are doing resume writing with Gina, and Tiffany's out of the office on vacation, so you have me. And after the workshop, I will send out the PowerPoint slides. And if you have any questions, like please let us know or speak up. Are you okay with that, Gina, or would you like them to type?
Oh, please,
Okay.
yes. If you have questions, speak up. I love it. Yes.
Awesome. Does anybody have any questions right now?
No.
Okay, perfect. You're good to go, Gina.
Great. And can everyone see the screen that I'm sharing?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. And feel free, if you'd love to show your faces, whether hair's done or not, we're all in this together. So, well, good morning. I'm Gina Kerr. I'm delighted to be with you today with Dress for Success. I'm sharing the resume writing workshop, and what I'm titling it is Bringing Out Your Best. So for today, I anticipate we're going to have some fun in this hour, and there's some exercises we're going to do. And when we get started, there's some things that I think would be very beneficial for us to work through this. And if you have a chance to grab a writing utensil and a couple sheets of paper or something to capture notes on, because we're going to do some exercises today that hopefully will be fun and will get you thinking and get some positive energy going. So does anyone need a moment to grab those items?
No, not me. Nope,
Okay.
I've got mine.
Okay, all right, great. And then lastly, an open mind. I'm going to hit this resume writing workshop from a different angle than just sharing, hey, what should we put on a resume? So an open mind and possibly an open heart could really benefit you as we work through this. Okay, all right. So I'm going to move over here for a second. So for today's focus, we're going to cover 6 key areas. 1, what do you want? Secondly, who are you? And then third is, what is the purpose of a resume? Then we will go into the resume content. What are the key details that need to be in a resume? And then we'll start looking at some examples in resume creation and going over some notes on that. And then, of course, end with some last, but not least, next steps. Okay. Okay, and I'm going to move this over here if that's okay, you guys. So we are going to do an exercise right now to get us excited with creativity, because I'm a firm fan and believer that when you are creating something, whether it's a document or a craft or something about that you're going to be giving to someone else, it's always good to have that positive energy and those positive vibes into it. Right now, with all the crazy stuff going on into the world, between pandemic and everything going on with businesses and folks losing jobs and what have you, sometimes we need to pause and reflect and dip into ourselves for that positive energy. And being able to create. Okay, so is there anyone who wants to get creative this morning and do a 1-minute exercise? Anybody?
Sure.
Yes?
Sure.
Awesome. Okay, good. Because we're going to make this 1 hour fun. Okay, this is not going to be a snoozer, I promise you. And so let's get out those sheets of paper, if you will, and the writing utensil. And I literally have a timer right here. So we're going to time a 1 minute. The objective of this creativity minute is to do this. You see a sheet of paper on this screen with circles. Well, let's start, not yet, don't yet, nobody start just yet. I'll do the timer. But basically what I want you to do is to look at the circle and think about what it could be. Okay. Now I'm just going to use a simple example. It could be a soccer ball. It could be a pipe. It could be a circle. You know, there's a number of different things it could be. And right now, for 1 minute, the objective is to write down a list of what those circles could represent. Okay. It's an opportunity to think outside of the box, to get creative, to get those wheels turning at 10 a.m. in the morning. And then once the minute is over, we'll take a moment, and Tiffany, or excuse me, Liz, I'd love for you to do this too. After this is the 1 minute is up, then we'll talk about what are all the things that we came up with that these circles could be. Okay? Does everyone feel good about those instructions, or does anybody have any questions? Anybody?
No.
Okay. All right, you guys ready to do that? And we're just gonna try to run a list for 1 minute, okay? And then I'll give you the more of the why as to why we're doing this, okay? Ready? Go. Okay, 7 seconds. Okay. All right, time's up. Pens or pencils down, if you would, please. And Liz, let's start with you, if you would.
Well, you started out with soccer balls, so I thought golf balls, and then the EOS like lip balm. It's like it comes in like a round little thing. I don't know
Yeah,
why I thought of that.
that's great. That's great. Yeah.
And then I thought of like marbles, like the Chinese checkers. And then also, I don't know what that game is, but it looks like what you have there. You like drop in that thing and it like goes down. You have like red and black. I forget. I don't even know. It's eluding.
Yeah. I know what you're talking. Craps game.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay. Great. Yeah.
that's as
That's
far as I got.
awesome. Yeah. No, that's fantastic. I mean, those are really creative, and that's really fantastic. Way to go, Liz. Chastity, how about you? What are some of the circle items that you thought about?
I don't know. I thought when I seen it, like I just seen like the circles all come together, make a pattern, like kind of like flowers. You got the center, and then the 5 like petals. And
Nice.
then once I seen that, it seemed like there was like an hourglass shape knocked out of it. And then I thought of Mancala when I first seen all the little circles.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. I love that. Carmen, how
Yeah.
about you?
Okay. I saw a series of triangles going back like a mirror.
Hmm.
I saw some sideways noses.
Okay.
So, yeah, like the lower part of a Z maybe going sideways. I saw soccer balls, mountain climbing grips, all pushed
Wow.
together. I saw the Plunko game.
Right. I love that game. Right.
And then I saw series of large Z's.
Okay.
That's it.
Neat. Isn't that amazing, ladies, how everyone had different answers and a different view in how they look at these circles? I find that amazing, because everyone is unique, right? And everyone is unique, and everyone can bring their own thoughts and skills and attributes to the table. Every single one of you provided different answers. I don't know about you, but I find that super cool because it's just another reflection to say you are unique. You have your own things to bring to the table, right? And so I hope that that is empowering. That is an empowering thought process to know, wow, I have my own thoughts. I have my own ways of looking at things. And there, I mean, across the board, there was so much creativity. And I'm so excited that you guys did this exercise, because this is the kind of mindset that I think contributes to building your resume. Whether you've been looking for a job for a really long time, or you have a job that you are doing right now and you want a different job, you know, this is something where we really need to look at ourselves and say, hey, we have things to bring to the table. We have our own uniqueness. We have our own strengths. And to not get discouraged, to know that the right job, the right position has your name written all over it. Okay. And so I just wanted to take a pause, get creative, and also reflect on your different answers and the uniqueness that every single person present is bringing. Okay? All right. So moving on to the next. That's a very bright screen right now. I want to pause and give what ifs. Okay? And that be, what if you received your dream job? What would that be like? What if you showed up in your authentic self? What benefits would others being on the receiving end have? You know, what if you brought your personality and your character and your skills and your experience to the table? What benefits, what great benefits would those on the receiving end have? You know? What if you had certain criteria of things that you really need and you really want for your next job? What might that bring to you in your life? You know, I find it's very helpful to life when we can try to take a pause, even if it's for a moment, to reflect on who are we, what are we about, and who are we, what are we about, and what do we want? And what are we also trying to create in our life? I know you came into this thinking it's a resume workshop, but I will tell you that there's so much more than just a sheet of paper. Um, it's almost putting out there what you want to bring back in, what you want to attract into your life. Okay? Any questions or comments on that right now?
You're
Carmen?
doing great. Yeah, you're doing great. You're inspiring me. Keep going.
Okay. Okay, great. Well, thank you. Before we move on to the next slide, what I'd like is to find out more, if you'd be willing to share, what is it that you would like to get out of today? Carmen, do you want to start us off if you'd be willing to share?
Sure. Yes, I like where you're going with this. I've been to more than one or two resume writing workshops, and each time I'm hoping that I gain more of the key golden nuggets, the tidbits that make my resume stand out more, and a
Mm,
stronger resume. but as you're speaking about this, it kind of builds on the session that we had yesterday, um, where it did challenge me to make sure that, okay, I'm not just shoving a piece of paper in front of someone with a lot of big, um, great things about myself. You know, I need to make sure
Mm,
that I'm looking to bring passion to whatever it is that I'm hoping to do, and that I'm
mm,
finding a job or bringing a job or a career closer to me that I will really enjoy being there every day. And just based on what you've said there, if I find the dream job, you know, first of all, do I know what I'm looking for? What is my dream? And how
mhm,
would I benefit that company if I'm able to bring my authentic self to that position every day? And, you know, I've got to have passion
mm,
for that. So those
mm.
are my thoughts.
Whew, I'm getting chills. That was beautiful. Yeah. Oh, that, yeah, I just want to soak that up. Yes. I mean, that's, yeah. I mean, everyone wants their dream job. And, there are also times where when we figure out what our dream is, there are times where we need different jobs too to build up skills that get to our dream job, and so, but sometimes we just need to look within to find out, okay, who are we? What do we want to give? And what do we want? Because it is truly a give and take relationship. I'm so glad you shared all that, Carmen. That just uh, really, really is inspiring as well. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Chastity, would you like to share?
I'm just looking like for ways to build a better resume. I have a resume, but it's like I don't really understand the concept of a resume if you're having to fill out an application. So it's kind of hard to tell what like the difference of an application and a resume. But hey, I'm just looking for better ways to like upgrade, I guess, my resume.
I love that. Yeah. Upgrade. I love it. Very, very cool. Okay. Well, we've got you set today. And I noticed that there's some others that joined. Hi, Jill. Hi, Gloria. Um, Welcome to this Bringing Out Your Best Resume Writing Workshop. And right now we're just kind of covering some what ifs. We did some exercise and covered what today is going to be about, and try to bring out some good creative fun energy within ourselves. So Jill, just what would it be that you would like to get out of today's time, if you wouldn't mind to share? Or Gloria, whoever would like to go next, if anyone wants to further comment.
I I enjoy just getting updates on what can make my resume stand out and be a little more attractive to employers. Um, like Carmen, I've been to a few resume writing workshops, and I'm always learning something new about something that I can add. So it's important to me that whenever I do go to workshops like these, that I do learn something from them.
Mm,
And I know that I've only been on the call for a short amount of time, but um, the dialogue has been really good. So just hoping to learn something new that can make my resume be a little more attractive.
great. Oh, you bet. Well, thank you so much for sharing that, because I'll definitely make sure that we cover some exciting ideas today. The world of resume writing is forever changing. I actually try to keep up to date as much as I can on recommendations and things like that, while also trying to make sure I'm really authentic in how I'm presenting the information, and what would my audience care to see. So thank you so much for sharing that. That's awesome. We'll definitely make sure to cover that. Yes. Jill, if you're able to connect with us. If not, that's okay. We'll just keep it going. Okay, guys. So we covered the what if. You know, the what if is just a real quick recap of what if you brought your authentic self? How would that make you feel? And what would you be able to give to others when you bring your authentic self? And I'm sorry if it's a little loud here. And do let me know if you can't hear me. And what would it be if you identified your dream job, you know, or the path to your dream job, and identified what are the things that you want to create in your life, you know? So we just did a creating exercise that helps bring additional energy. And for those that joined afterward, I'm going to make sure that you have that information, or fortunately Liz will, which is great. Okay, moving on to the next. Here we go. Here's another little exercise that's little in concept, but really big in results. Okay. Take a piece of paper and a pen, and I'm going to time us up to 3 minutes. I'm going to be really mindful of that. But if you guys are done sooner, just try to let me know. And perhaps maybe in time we'll just do a couple minutes. But basically, take a moment, take a pause, and meditate on what it is you're seeking. You know, what do you want? And write down 3 to 5 things that you want. There's no wrong answer. This is you. You know, is there a certain pay you're wanting, or is there a particular job that you're looking for? Or is there something that you want to travel with this job? Or I don't know. I have no idea what it is you want. You're the one that really needs to tap into yourself and say, hey, what is it that I want? And write those concepts down. Okay. So I'm going to do a couple minutes here. I'm going to time it, if you don't mind, just to keep us on track. And if you could start that, that'd be great. Okay, we have about 40 seconds left. Okay, time's up. And you know, this is definitely an exercise that whether you were able to complete now or not, it's, you know, it's a good takeaway to sit down and take a connection point with yourself on what it is that you want. Is there anyone that would like to share 1 or 2 things that you do want? with the group?
I can share.
Okay.
I wrote down just two things, but um, I would like to have the opportunity of getting better pay. Um, as I have been going through school and getting certifications and becoming more qualified,
Okay.
looking for opportunity to make more money and a job that I feel fulfilled,
Okay.
um, so that when I do go to work, it doesn't feel like a job. It feels like something that is
Mm,
my passion. So I want to continue to come every day.
I love that. Gloria, thanks for sharing. Yes. And I noticed that Chastity and Carmen want to share too. Chastity, you want to go next?
Yeah, I was just gonna say like I at least want good pay, and most of the things that I talk about with the employer is set hours. Like I kind of like having the same hours every week. That like so I know for a fact I'm coming at these hours. You know, the other employees know for a fact I'm coming in at those hours. But also because I have 5 children, and it is very important for me to have a sort of like a same schedule. But I also know that I cannot stand to do something the same thing over and over again every day. So I keep in mind that I want something that's non-repetitive. So I
Okay.
tend go towards customer service. I know that because it's just different every day.
Yeah, I mean, that's an excellent point. I mean, and I love how you put that. I mean, you want consistency in your set hours so you can further plan your day and take care of your kiddos. Whereas you don't want a monotonous job. You know, you want to be able to have a fresh um, day almost every day. That's what I'm hearing?
Right.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you. That's great. Yes. Carmen, how about you? What's your what are one or two of your things that you want?
Two things that I want that may be a little different from what the other lady said. I wrote down some of the same things that they said, but I'll include in there. I want to solve problems and I want to serve people well.
Yeah, I love that too. Gosh, I what great connection today, you guys. I love that. Jill or Liz, would you like to share as well?
Actually, I was going to say a lot of what Carmen said. I want to figure out problems, like maybe something consulting. I also want to travel, so something different and new every day, or often.
Sure. I love it. Okay. Well, great. Thanks, you guys. Thanks for participating on that. And like I said, that is an opportunity for you to, I'm going to encourage you, if you don't mind, as a takeaway, to take 20 minutes, 30 minutes, even if you have 10. I mean, juggling 5 kiddos, I'm sure your time, your extra time is very limited, but whatever you can do to take a pause and check in and truly ask yourself, hey, what do I want? Because that goes into your resume. It goes into your energy of what you're trying to put out there and what you want to receive back. So, I mean, being able to have set hours, absolutely. You know, an employer, when they're serious and they say, hey, you know what, Chastity, what is it? What would you like out of this job? You know what? That prepares you for an answer. You can say, you know what, I would really like to uh, be in customer service where I am helping a variety of people and there's you know, fresh ways of solving problems every day. And you know what, I would like to be able to juggle my family. I said, you know, set hours are important to me. I will tell you, if I'm an employer, because I do interview people, I would appreciate that answer. That would give me a way to say, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. This person wants a fresh day. They want to do something, you know, different daily to help with the company. And I totally respect that they want set hours. I love it. Same goes for Carmen, your desire to want to solve problems and to serve people well. I mean, that is, fast forward to an interview. When somebody says, hey, what would you like? What are you looking for? You have an answer. Same goes for Gloria and for Liz. Gloria, I love your concept about, hey, you know what? I'd like some better pay, and I would like to be fulfilled. I'd like to be working on my passion. And I tell you what, when you are working through or updating your resume, those are some things that are going to start showing up when you dump that into your mindset and bring out your heart. You know, it's like, it's great when you balance your mind and your heart and you put forth what those two organs, if you will, can work together and what they can achieve for you. So, okay, moving on to next, which is, who are you? And I'm not going to ask you ladies to share if you don't want to, definitely. But similar to asking the question, what do you want? It's also very important to find out, who are you? You know, what does your authentic best look like? You know, what would your closest friends say about you? Um, you know, sometimes we don't have the clear picture of ourselves. We may look at ourselves too well or not enough, you know, and so we don't want to be on those ends of the spectrum where we're arrogant or we are self-loathing. You know, we want to try to be in the middle to some degree, to say, gosh, you know, what does my authentic self look like, and how can I play to my strengths? You know, and it is okay. It is absolutely okay, and known that not every person is 100% great at everything. You know, that we are not designed that way, right? So we really want to play up to our strengths, because when we give our strengths, we feel good about that, and then the outcomes are even better. But to Gloria's point earlier, we want to continue to grow, right? So we want to learn. We are going to be continual learners, and but to also know, hey, when we're putting ourselves out there for a job interview, or a job request or a description or whatever, is this something that we want? You know, so I know sometimes there are just times where we need to get a job because we need to pay the bills, and that is understandable too. Um, but I want to be able to balance both of those concepts. Okay, if you would just take 1 minute, if you will. I'm going to shorten it down to 1 minute in hopes that you'll spend some meditative time afterward to further tap into who you are. But if you could just take 1 minute, write down 3 to 5 positive attributes about yourself, whether it's a skill, a talent, an adjective. You know, how would you describe yourself in 1 minute, if you will? Go ahead and start. Thank you. And I'm going to play fun music while we do that. Diana Ross. You can't beat that. Okay, time. All right, ladies, thanks so much for participating in that exercise. Would anyone like to share one positive attribute about yourself? I'd love for everyone to, but Liz, would you like to share one positive attribute?
I would say resilience. I'm very good at overcoming challenges and pivoting to new things. I don't really see things as like setbacks. I just see them as different ways of doing something.
I love that. Awesome. Chastity, how about you?
I feel like I'm like very like I like to encourage people and like always see stuff on the positive side. Like it's very hard for people to see that sometimes, but like I don't know, I just like encouragement like and positivity. So I think those both run hand in hand.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Everyone needs an encourager. Everyone does. And that's positive energy. I mean, what organization wouldn't want, someone who's able to encourage and be a team member? That's awesome. Carmen, how about you?
Okay, I am optimistic.
Very cool. Great traits. Thank you for sharing. Yes. Okay, Gloria, how about you? Would you like to share one positive attribute? Oh, I hear you I think you're on mute. Are you able to unmute?
I would say a talent or skill that I have is being able to effectively communicate, especially in the workplace. Communication is very important, the way you express your message, because it can be taken out of context and can create conflict. So I try to work really hard with articulating myself in a way that's positive um, when I need to tell someone something.
Yeah, that's great. That's excellent to be very mindful. Yes. Thanks for sharing. So Jill, I know you're on mute, but Jill, would you like to share one positive attribute? Okay. Oh, there you are.
Hi, sorry, I've been back and forth away from the computer. I'm in just listening on as Chastity is a client of mine. So I missed most of that question. So I'm going to pass.
Oh, you're fine. Okay. Hey, no worries. You're fine.
Thank you.
Sure. Of course. I just don't want to leave anyone out. Okay, next. Now, why would learning more about what you want and more about yourself be beneficial in a resume workshop? And that's my authentic question to you. What's the why? I'm a why person. Why do you think we would cover those two things before we dive into building our resume or upgrading it? Thoughts?
I always say it helps you know more of, saying what you're looking for and what you want and what you want to achieve. Because you can't go out and look for a job if you really don't know what you want. I mean, you can, but yeah.
Good point. Good point. Carmen, I know you went off mute. How about you?
Yeah, that's just like what Chastity said. I agree. Bringing your authentic self is really important. I've actually sat down in an interview before and realized about halfway through, this is not really what I want. And I could have saved myself some difficulty, and it really wasn't that difficult. I think I did very well continuing with the interviewing process and then sharing my heart with them after the interview was over. But yeah, authenticity is so important.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, thanks, ladies, and because we do really. Does it represent all of you? No, nothing ever could, right? Because you have your own personality and your character and your skills and talents and so forth and history. I mean, um, and it is a piece of paper. However, to your points earlier and your desires, you really want that resume to stand out. You really want the ability to make some upgrades to your resume and to get that paying job and to really showcase that you want to solve problems and that you want to creatively serve others. So now let's get into the actual the resume piece. Okay, so let's talk about the purpose of a resume. You know, it sounds like a paper introduction of who you are and what your accomplishments are, and what you've done. It's also an opportunity to connect. At least that's my personal point of view. It's an opportunity to connect with your audience. It's an opportunity to connect with the job that you're applying for. It's an opportunity to connect with the people that are interviewing you for that position. Okay. All right. So it's your marketing piece, basically. It's an opportunity to sell your abilities and things of that nature. As you've heard me say authentic, the word authentic multiple times already. I find that it's very important for us to be authentic when we provide our resume, because I think when you start a foundation where you feel good about it, good will continue. You know, the good will come in. So it sets the direction for your job search, you know, and definitely showcases your skills, your attributes, your interests, things of that nature. You know, obviously we chatted about attributes a moment ago, and it highlights your progress. You know, it is a chronological order to some degree of your experiences. You know, what jobs have you had? Um, you know, what's the theme of those jobs? Are they problem solving, you know, as an example? Are they customer service, as an example? You know, people are interested to say, how are you navigating through that? Now, hey, we've all had jobs. I don't know anyone who hasn't had jobs where, you know, you're doing it to get a paycheck, right? Believe it or not, as extroverted as I can be, I worked in a library once, you know, and but I looked at I love books, you know, and so it was part of my passion. Granted, I was young when I did that, but you just never know why we are attracted to certain jobs. But it's important to see what are our passions, and what are we looking for, and gosh, try it out, you know. Okay, and then of course the goal is, if it's something we want, may it elicit an interview, you know. So how might we stand out, you know? Okay, so now we're going to dive into resume content. Here's just some key notes that I've put together, and I worked on and saw from some other resume tips. Hey, know that they're subjective, right? So, I mean, anyone can write one sentence and it be open for interpretation. To Gloria's point, one of her objectives is, I really want to communicate clearly and well. And so we definitely want to be able to do that on our resume. It's always implied that it's speaking from first person, so we don't use I or me or words of that nature. Um, I don't know about you, but definitely at least 2 revisions. If you get a slam dunk on your first resume without some tweaks and revisions, please, you should be teaching this class. It would be too impressive. I mean, the resume is a forever living document. We are constantly tweaking it and updating it and so forth. So believe it or not, I'm sure it won't surprise you that in the way of the world today, the attention span is very minimal. And so you really want to be able to stand out, which we'll cover. I'm going to speed up these details because I covered the living document and definitely to be authentic. Okay. Very importantly as well, hey, we don't want to fabricate information. I mean, I think it'll catch up, right? So if they ask you about something and it's something that was made up on your resume, not saying, I'm just saying in general, hey, nobody wants to fabricate their resume. Some people do, you know, and that they can speak, let's say French. And then the next thing you know, somebody wants to introduce them to someone from France, and you just never know. So being authentic is very important in many ways. Okay, resume formatting, here's some basics. Some of these are probably very common to you already as far as margins and font size between 1 and 12. The less clutter, the better. So strategically placing information is very important. I'm going to show you some examples. Definitely spell check, and of course it would be ideal to have someone also read that for you, just to be an extra set of eyes. Okay, so now let's get into resume creation. I'm going to try to minimize this here so you guys can see. Okay, here's just a very basic sample. Resumes have morphed over time to be more than just a basic Word document that is typed in Times New Roman, to be so much more slick and artistic and more of a modern marketing piece, if you will. So in this example here, it gives your header, first name, last name, all key information such as your address, your phone, email. If you have a LinkedIn profile, that's something good to note there as well, because many people will go to your LinkedIn profile. As you can see here in this example, there is an objective statement. I think it's more of personal preference. If you want to put on an objective statement, I personally do not. That's something over time I've removed. And I've put more of bullet points under a profile summary. So my resume will start off with my header information and then go into my profile. It'll say profile and then have 4 to 5 bullet points very specifically of a high level summary of who I am, okay? And education. So education is important. Obviously include your degrees. And if you're still in process, your expected degree time frame of when that will be completed. If you're in the middle of higher education, note that. All of that is excellent information. And skills. Personally, I love to see skills in bullet points because you're going to share them through your commentary of your experience when you provide bullet points, which I'm going to share with you in the next slide. But if you have a dedicated section for skills, again, going back to that attention span, people like to see very quick bulleted points. Okay, and then summary of qualification. So what are your relevant skills? And obviously be specific, right? Definitely, as we talked earlier, to focus on your strengths. You know, you led a team to da-da-da-da, or you increased service levels on customer service by X%, or something to the effect of mentioning key bullet points with adjectives of what you did and how you improved that organization. Those are all things that an employer or an interviewee would like to see. Okay. Does anyone have any initial questions on this?
I was looking at your order, but I see that you have a few notes about it, so I'm good.
Okay, sure. And like I said, this was just one of the samples. I'm going to give you some kind of some tips and tricks real quick. So some other key notes. Here's some basics of what to include. Here's a summary, and I know Liz is going to share this presentation afterward, so I will not read this information, but basically, minimum definitely include for your experience, the name of company, the city, the state, the position, title, date range of the employment. You can definitely use bold or italics or caps to draw more attention to key things. List the experiences that are most relevant. Do know that you do not need to put everything on the resume of all of the jobs or positions or internships or what have you that you've had historically. You can definitely cherry pick it specific to what is relevant for that particular job. Okay? You'll want to put, if you have professional memberships like Dress for Success or community activities or awards or things like that, job trainings, all of that is excellent to include on your resume. So here's an example that's much more in the modern realm of resumes. You know, there's some icons here with your contact information at the front. There's a professional profile here. Like I said, you could use bullet points or just a few sentences, whatever is your preference. If it's something you're interested in adding, you can see here is the skills. So these are essentially bullet pointed, but it's really a list, okay, of attention to detail, customer service, negotiation, organized, accountability, things like that are great skills, just as a couple examples. As you can see here, education, what has been completed, or if there's anything in process. Additionally, if you want, there's technical skills. If you're applying for a more technical job and you want to highlight and showcase what those are, you can definitely include those. And experience level. Bullet points are ideal, and sometimes you even want to limit them if necessary. 3 to 5 is ideal at this point. If you've been at that position for many years, though, it definitely begs flexibility to continue. Okay, professional development, and then last but not least, extras and things like that. Okay, as we are closing up here, gosh, this hour went so quickly. I wish I could spend so much more time with you ladies because it's been great to hear what you're looking for and what you need. Next steps is to start, to create, or I loved Chastity's word earlier, upgrade the resume, reflect on your desires, reflect on who you are, and also look at resume templates, which I'm going to share with you in just one second. Update your LinkedIn if you have one or if you'd like one to create, and enjoy the process. Put positive energy into creating or upgrading your resume because I'm confident that will receive benefits afterward. The positive energy you put into it, the more that process will be better. Okay, here's some tips and tricks, ladies. So Microsoft Word has been adding more and more templates for resumes, along with other things. Here's a quick screenshot of some additional Microsoft Word templates that are for your resume. I'm going to admit, I use a template. I love it. I used to create my own, but I use a template now because I really like the modern feel. So shh, don't tell anybody. No, I'm just kidding. Spread the word, spread the word. These templates are fantastic, right? So they also partner with a cover letter and your resume. Some of these pictures right here, if you don't want to include a resume with your picture, no one needs to. If you don't want to, if you do want to, great, either way. Also, another quick tip that I didn't put physically in this presentation is Etsy. I'm going to admit something, bad or good. I went on Pinterest and I looked through resume templates. So I am sharing that with you guys, that look on Pinterest, look on Etsy. Those are great resources. Do some Googling of modern resume templates. There are so many more out there. I'm going to admit to you that I purchased my resume template off of Etsy for $15. And they sent, the person who designed it sent, I mean, they're not designing your content, they're just providing you a format, okay? And they'll give you your references, a reference sheet, and a cover letter, basically all of the templates, okay? And additionally, some will also provide you a guide of further recommendations on what to do, how to do it, how to further shine, and so forth. So I want to give you some behind the curtains secret tips of updating your resume, okay? Any questions on that? Okay. And then last but not least, hey, we've got this, you know, you've got this. And just tap into yourself is my suggestion. Reflect on who you are and what you're about, and own it, you know? I mean, not to the point where we're arrogant or that we're self-loathing, but own who you are. Know that, you know, given our earlier exercise, you're unique. You have skills and attributes and a personality and a character that is specific to you. I'm a full believer that the right job will show up, but we need to also participate in that process as you ladies have been doing. So I just want to give that last yay hurrah, that put the positive energy into your resume. Lean on your team members, dress for success, myself, you know, to work through this process. And I'm going to keep you in my thoughts and in the positive vibes that good things are going to happen. Okay. All right. Thank you very much for your time and energy. I apologize. I went over a couple minutes.